So for question 2, they ask you to find out what's the value A, B, C, D. So means that they ask you to express this fraction into the partial fraction. First step, identify it is proper or not. So this is cubic over polynomial power 4. So this is proper fraction. And then second step, we go for the denominator. So our denominator divisor here, we have to factorize it completely. So obviously this polynomial haven't factorized yet. So therefore, for our divisor or our denominator, it is x power 4 plus 9x squared. So how to factorize it completely? We take out x squared. So it becomes x squared plus 9. So we can see here x squared actually is x times x. So this question involving a repeating factor and a quadratic factor. So you can try to press your calculator. You can see when your quadratic A is 1, B is 0, C is 9, you won't have any factor. So means this quadratic is maintained like that. We cannot do any more factorization. But if they give us x squared minus 9, then we can factorize. It will be x minus 3, x plus 3. Because when you have a squared minus b squared, we can factorize a plus b, a minus 3. So this is how we factorize our denominator completely in step 2. Then we're going to do our step 3. Step 3 means we're going to split our factor. So take our fraction, taking our fraction here, 4x cubed minus 3x squared plus 6x minus 27. So put in our factorization, which is x, and x squared plus 9, means we have repeating. We have the concept of repeating factor, quadratic factor. So how to do repeating factor? For the first time is x. For the second time, it will be x squared. And then quadratic factor, x squared plus 9. So this is how we split our repeating factor and quadratic factor. Then the following step, we're going to identify their numerator part. When it is a linear factor, up here will be a constant. So when this is also a linear factor, up here is a constant. So this one absolutely is not quadratic because x squared can be factorized x times x. So inside the bracket here, it is a linear. It is x power of 1 linear. So but inside the bracket here, this is a quadratic. So when we need a quadratic, it will be a linear. So as the question gives us like that. So this question, they help us to express in the form of partial fraction already. And then the next step, we're going to form the equation so that we can find out what is our A, B, C, D. So once we have so many unknowns here, we have 4 unknowns here, means we have to use our equation to solve these 4 unknowns. Okay, so go for the next step. We will equal the numerator part. Where A, you can see for A, what should the A times? You can see the complete factorization, complete fraction is here. So this is just a partial, a part of it only. So you can see the A, it already have factor of x, so it need these two. So it will time with x and x squared plus 9. Then for B, it will time with x squared plus 9. And then for this Cx plus D, make sure you put in bracket or not, it will make you confused. If you don't put in bracket, it will make you confused. D only time with x squared. So actually it's the whole thing time with x squared. So this is our equation. Then can see here, we are going to start solve it. So we can see we have a roots here. We have our roots x equals to 0. Of course, this one we don't have the roots. So we can let x equals to 0 to find out. When we have x equals to 0, we can find out value of d. So this part totally will equals to negative 27. So this one is 0. This one is 0 square plus 9. It will become 9b. And then this one 0 plus d times 0. So everything times 0 becomes 0. So at least we get an unknown first, which is b. So after that, you can notice that we don't have any roots number. We don't have any zeros here. We don't have any roots. So I have 3 unknown to go, but I don't have any roots here. So if we still continue let 3 random number, we will build a simultaneous of 3 unknown. So which is you are not familiar to solve it. Like your chapter 4, when you have unknown x, y, z, how you going to solve? You solving by matrices, concept of matrices, find the A inverse, find out your x, y, z. So same here, when we have 3 unknown, haven't found it, we can choose another method. We can choose our comparison method. So use our b value here. So are you going to do our comparison method because we don't have any, I want to avoid from solving 3 simultaneous equations together with value A, C, D. So I can use comparison method. So if I want to use comparison method, I have to expand the whole part here so that I can compare what is the coefficient of x3, what is the coefficient of x2, what is the coefficient for x, what is the coefficient of negative 27. So for the first part here, a times x squared, we will get x cubed, then plus 9ax. Then for b, since we have negative 3, we use it, we will get negative 3x squared, then minus 27. Then for this part, it will give you cx cubed plus dx squared. So we collect back our terms, collect back our cubic terms, power of 3, we have a plus c as a coefficient of x power 3. And then the next term, x power 2, we have negative 3 plus d x power 2. And then we go for the x, we have 9ax. Lastly, our constant here is negative 27. So you can see they are equivalent because this numerator part is equal to this after the expand with the denominator. So from here, we can compare to find out what is our A, C, D. So for x cubed, coefficient for x cubed is 4. So when you compare the coefficient, you get a plus c is 4. Then you get negative 3 plus d for coefficient x squared, it will be negative 3. So we can solve for this 3, this d. Remove the 3, will be equals to 0. Then we compare the next term. For x here, coefficient for x is 9a. So 9a will equals to 6. So this a will equals to 2 over 3. So we can substitute here and find out our c. So therefore our c will be 4 minus 2 over 3. We get 10 over 3. So this is how we find out all the unknown. Instead of using let method, we still have a comparison method. So comparison method need you to expand everything and compare the coefficient one by one. So after we get all these ABC, so we can express that in partial fraction. But this question is not asking me to express in partial fraction. They just ask me to say find the value of this ABC. So we will stop. We will stop where the place they ask us to find. which is ABC only. But if they ask us to express in partial fraction, of course this ABCD I will going to substitute that and express this fraction into a partial fraction. So from here we can see what's important. So the first part, of course, because this question already split for us already, so for the first part here, they consider don't have any marks. So this is how we find our ABC. That will be our first concept, building out the equation, and you will find a value of B first. And then when you compare their coefficient, you'll find all the answer. So you can find these two answer directly, and lastly substitute to the A plus C here to get constant C. So this is how we find ABC.